Hi everyone, I hope your summer is going well. This week is Parshat Chukat, outside of Eretz Yisrael. In chapter 20, we informed of the death of Moshe's sister, Miriam, the prophetess, in whose merit the Jewish people had water for the 40 years while they traveled in the desert. And the following verses, Bnei Yisrael, the water dries up, and the Jewish people complain to Moshe and Aaron, and they complain like, why did you bring us into this wilderness to die over here? And again, it seems to be the same old story. One would get that impression after reading the Parshiyot in Bamidbar. It seems that we're always complainers. We're never happy as a Jewish people. And yet, Rabbi Fran points out that chapter 20 is a transition from year 2 to year 40. What happened to those 38 years in the wilderness that we know nothing about? So Rabbi Simcha Zisel points out it might be that the Torah did not mention these 38 years of the wilderness journeys of the Jewish people is because the Jewish people were perfect. They didn't make mistakes. They didn't complain. Their complaints only took place in the first year and a half and in the last year. Imagine if you could say that about yourself, that for 38 years you didn't make mistakes and you were perfect. I know I can't. So what was it about those first years and the last year that caused the Jewish people to make mistakes and sin and complain against Moshe Rabbeinu? I guess I have to back up for a minute. How do we know they didn't complain? So the Mishnah in Pirkei Avot, chapter 5, Mishnah 4 tells us that we challenged God 10 times as a nation, 10 times in the wilderness. And the Gemara in Erchin on page 15 tells us that those all took place in the first year and a half and last year. So Rabbi Fran says, what was it about the first years and the last year that caused the Jewish people to challenge and complain to Moshe Rabbeinu and Aaron? He explains, and this is part of Rabbi Simcha Zisel's idea as well, these were transitional years. When a person is going through a transition time, whether positive or negative, something good is happening or negative is happening in their life, it creates uncertainty, anxiety, and that can cause a person not to be the best version of themselves, make mistakes. They become anxious. They become short of patience. And so, the first year and a half, there's a transition from being a slave to being a free person, embracing a life of Torah, and relying on Hashem and learning to rely on Hashem. And then in the last year, to learn not to be so reliant, but self-reliant, to build a country and a society. Those are transitional times, and those are fraught with challenges to one's spiritual development and growth. So something for us to think about, that when we're going through a transitional time, to step gently, thoughtfully, and to understand that there might be possibilities where we won't be our best version, to do our best to prepare for that so that we can be and make the right decisions at the time. I hope you like what you hear. If you do, please pass it on. I look forward to many more videos together with you, and I hope you have a productive summer. Shabbat Shalom.